All right, today I'm with Coach Smith of Oak Hill Academy. He's the head basketball coach here and athletic director. And just to give a little background information about you, you've been named USA Today National Coach of the Year 4 times. You just won it this year for your 4th time.
Right.
Your current win-loss record is 860-53, which gives you a winning percentage of 94%. That's pretty incredible, if you ask me. You've been here for 27 years. You just finished your 27th year.
Right.
You've coached 27 McDonald's All-Americans and an 8-time national champion. And this last year, Oak Hill finished 44-0, winning their 8th national championship. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
My first question is, I want to know a little bit about your history. Where'd you go to school? Where'd you grow up? How'd you get involved with basketball?
I was born in Ohio. I actually grew up most of my young life in Kentucky. Got attached to basketball because I lived in Kentucky, which is a basketball state, as you know. And then my dad was a basketball coach. He coached at Malone College in Ohio, Taylor University in Indiana, Azusa Pacific in California, and then he came back and finished coaching at Asbury, which was his alma mater. He graduated from Asbury in 1950. I graduated in 1977, so it's kind of a family deal. I have a twin brother. My sister, we all went to Asbury. We all met our spouses at Asbury, which is in Wilmore, Kentucky, central part of the state, about 15 miles from Lexington. And just got the itch to coach because my dad coached, and I wanted to be like my dad. And from a young age, I was his manager, ball boy, I kept stats from the 2nd grade on, and I made sure I didn't screw up because he let me know if I did. So I got attached to basketball that way.
What was your first coaching job?
I coached the freshman team at Asbury when I first got out of college from 78 to 80. Then I went to University Heights Academy in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, which is a private day school. Coached there, and then came to Oak Hill as an assistant in 1983 for 2 years, and then I've been the head coach here since 1985.
Well, speaking of Oak Hill, how did you find out about Oak Hill? Like, what led you to find out about the area?
Well, when I came as an assistant, I was good friends with the guy that got the job, Larry Davis. He and I went to Asbury together. Larry is now associate head coach with Mick Cronin at Cincinnati. And so Larry called when he got the job here. I had an assistant's job opening. They had a biology opening, which I was a biology major in college. And so it kind of worked out. And I was a head coach in Kentucky at a private school. But I felt like coming to Oak Hill, career-wise, was a better move, even though I was going to be an assistant and didn't expect to be here for 27 years. I thought I'd come up here a couple of years and head off into college somewhere, but just has worked out great for me.
What was the history at Oak Hill before you got here?
They were good. Not quite what we are now, but they were starting. The program started like middle 70s, and then it kind of started to grow about 1980, 81. I saw Oak Hill play in 1979 in Lexington, Kentucky, so I knew who Oak Hill was. And they had a good team then. 2 or 3 high-level players, and then it kind of dropped off. Now we have 6 or 7 or 8 high Division I guys each year. So
right.
The program has grown, but they had a very good basketball team, and they had good coaches back then. And so the footwork was kind of laid for me when I took over. It wasn't a big transition. It wasn't like I had to build something from scratch. We had some good players, and the first year I coached here, we finished the year number 4 in USA Today. That was my first year here,
right.
And it's kind of snowballed from there.
Well, like when you first got here, how did the whole program really get started? Because it's a little strange, because if you look at all the other schools in the area, if you look at like Allegheny High School or Grayson High School for that matter, they're small public schools holding maybe 500 kids.
Right.
And then Oak Hill Academy's out here, as most people would say, in the middle of nowhere. And it's 150 students. It's a private Baptist boarding school. And yet you manage to bring in these great players year after year, and they eventually become McDonald's All-Americans or NBA players. It's just kind of amazing. So how do you think it all kind of got
started? To backtrack a little bit, about 1974, 75, I was with my 3rd president ago. I've been with 3 presidents. Robert Eisner was his name. His son was Chuck Eisner. He was the basketball coach and phys ed teacher here. And he went to Dr. Eisner and approached him about starting and pushing the basketball program a little more to get publicity for the school. Didn't think it would be a big expense. If you try it in football and some other sports,
it's a little bit more expensive.
Yeah. So, and that's how it initially started. And I worked with Dr. Eisner for a year as the head coach. So I'm getting this straight from him. So I know that's pretty accurate. And he basically got in a van, drove up to Washington, D.C. in the New York City area. Literally came back with 4 or 5 players with him right before school started, and that started. And they were like 27-3 that year. Had a couple kids go Division I, like the first kids to ever do that out of Oak Hill. And then he stayed a couple of years as the coach, and then he switched coaches. And like I said, I worked with Dr. Eisner up till 1985, and then he kind of went from there, to where it is today. And it's the name of the school, the tradition, the players that have been here, just keeps growing and growing and growing. We finished 44-0, as you mentioned, and the season was over just a couple weeks ago. We got back from China, and my phone ringing off the hook. The better years you have, the more kids seem to want to come to your school. And I think it was tough. I've never really had to recruit kids. I just answer the phone and follow up on people that have called us, whether it's parents or AAU coaches or college coaches or high school coaches. Sometimes the players call you themselves. And I just follow up with them. And, of course, back in the 70s and 80s, when I first got in the middle 80s, no internet, none of that, no cell phones. So I wasn't sure a kid could play or not, and I have to do some legwork. I have to go watch guys play and do a little more traveling. Now you've got the internet and scouting services and all this stuff, and if a college coach calls you and you know them and you respect them, if he tells you a kid can play, you're pretty sure you can play.
Right.
So I've got some resources out there now that they're all over the place that let me know if a guy's good enough to play here, and we're much more selected than we were 25 years ago.
Right. What was your initial goal when you first came to Oak Hill as a coach?
It wasn't to be the #1 team in the country, but it was. As any coach, you want to try to win every game every year, but you're trying to coach the best players you can get and have the best team you can get each year. And the first year, like I say, we ended up 4th in the nation. We traveled and went to Las Vegas to a tournament. Back then, they had a tournament called the Las Vegas Prep Classic, which is kind of the biggest tournament. It was around Christmas time, and we had been there before, but never won it. And my first year as a head coach, we go out and we win the tournament. Now we're invited to everything. The next year, everybody's calling us from all over the country, wants to come play. And it kind of snowballed from there. And that helps, the exposure, the places you travel, the schedule, that helps. That attracts players too. And, of course, you got to go win those games. You can't just show up.
Right.
And we're lucky enough to go out and win a lot of those tournaments fairly early, after I got here. And then it's just kind of going from there to now we're invited 4 or 5 events every weekend. We can't do it every weekend. We can't travel, but we play a great schedule.